Hi, my name is Rich Harrington, and welcome to this edition of Creative Cow's Video Adrenaline series for Premiere Pro. Today, I want to focus on some changes in Adobe Premiere Pro CS5, mainly how it integrates with Adobe Audition. Now, Adobe Audition was originally Cool Edit, and it was bought by Adobe to sort of enhance Adobe's audio capabilities. It was in the Creative Suite, it went away, it was PC only, it's been in and out, but now it's back, much stronger than ever, and it's a cross-platform application that runs on both a Mac and a PC, and it does some really cool things. I want to show you how easy it is to move back and forth from a Premiere Pro sequence into Adobe Audition with just a couple clicks. Let's go. So here's a clip here that has a lot of background noise. We were shooting outdoors, busy street. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, you want to avoid a total rebuild, we're going to have to rip out your linkage and replace that rear main, scrub your plugs, and excuse me, we're going to have to power wash your transmission, about $37,990.
So a lot of noise there, a lot of background. Let's clean it up. I'm going to just right-click on a clip and choose Edit in Adobe Audition. Now it's going to do a render and replace, and it's going to bring the file over to Audition where I can work. Here it is.
Yeah, you want to avoid a total rebuild.
Notice there we have a lot of background noise that we can go ahead and clean up. Let's find a good clean passage of that noise, right about there. And we'll just zoom in here, make that a little easier. We'll click the zoom in time button there. And I'll just make a selection for that audio.
Excuse me, we're going to have...
That's good. We can now set that as the noise print. So under Effects, Noise Reduction, we'll capture the noise print. Shift P is to capture the print. Now, once we have that, this is going to enable us to select the whole clip and invoke noise reduction. There it is. Let's go ahead and click play.
Yeah, you want to avoid a total rebuild, we're going to have to rip out your linkage.
Now, obviously, we've gone a little too far. So let's output just the noise only.
Excuse me, we're going to have to...
What we're going to do is back that off. So we're just hearing the noise, not as much as the audio. There we go. Uncheck output noise only.
Yeah, you want to avoid a total rebuild, we're going to have to rip out your linkage and replace that rear main, scrub your plugs, and excuse me, we're going to have to power...
I'm going to stop that for a second. This is a tough situation. See, there's obviously a lot of background noise, but that background noise is part of the environment we shot in. It was a busy intersection. It's supposed to be a mechanic. I could pull that all out, but it's not going to sound natural. That's why we have these mixing controls here. So what I like to do is go ahead and just make this window so I could see it a little bit bigger. And we're going to go ahead here and switch this to a logarithmic scale so we can see things. And look as we start to make the reduction there. I can go ahead and say that there is no noise reduction, or as we expand that out, it becomes more in line with the vocal area up there. Now, if we go too far, it's going to sound fake.
About $37,995, and that's just an estimate, little lady.
So we'll sort of split the middle. So we're getting some of the noise, but more voice. And then we could use the reduce amount here to how much lower it's going to be.
Yeah, you want to avoid a total rebuild, we're going to have to rip out your linkage and replace that rear main, scrub your plugs, and
that looks pretty good there. And if you want to see it
before,
just go ahead and turn it off there by clicking the power button.
About $37,995, and
you hear how the background noise is much stronger. So very flexible there.
That's just an estimate, little lady.
And you could dial that in with an intensity. That looks pretty good to me there. And I'll click apply. Now the effect goes through. There's all sorts of other things you could do in here. You've got the ability to match volume or to go ahead and actually deal with the noise reduction here. You could do things like remove clicks, clean that up. We can go ahead and deal with the actual volume here. Under amplitude, tell it we want to normalize. Set a target in decibels. I'll go with -12 here. It goes through and adjusts, or we can make that louder for that matter. Let's just go ahead and remove that effect by clicking the trash button. And notice it's all non-destructive. We'll take that a little louder. Target -6. And the volume adjust. When you are set, simply hit save, and then you can go ahead and close the project and switch back to Premiere Pro. You'll notice there that in the timeline, it has been replaced with a wave. And that audio...
Yeah, you want to avoid a total rebuild, we're going to have to rip out.
And so it's gone ahead and swapped out the audio that was in the movie for this new audio file that we can work with. Very, very versatile. Now, we showed you how to send over an individual clip, but if you have a sequence and you want to send that over, maybe for some sound design or advanced mixing, you can do that too. Just select your sequence and choose Edit, Edit in Adobe Audition, and you could send over the entire sequence. That's going to go ahead and ask you what you want. You're going to give it a name. You're going to go ahead and send that over. You can also choose to send preview audio. So if you want to score to picture, choose this and it will send over a lower resolution self-contained video file that you could use for reference, which might be helpful as you want to sort of see what's happening in the shot. That looks good. If you've already applied effects here, you can go ahead and render those. So if you started some work inside of Premiere Pro and you want to pass that off to Encore, you could do that. Usually though, I'm going to strip that off so I could start fresh. And then if you've got clip keyframes, like you've done some actual mixing, go ahead and leave that checked. That's going to go ahead and hand off any keyframes or mixing that you've done in Premiere Pro and let Audition pick up where you left off. And then of course we'll tell it to open. You're going to want to choose a path of where that's going to go. I would recommend that you target your media folder, make a project, and store that into one folder there, and click OK, and it's going to do that handoff. Now, it's going to have to make a self-contained video file, so if you have a really long sequence, this might take a bit, especially if there was a bunch of effects. But basically, this is just a preview movie, and it's not going to take that long. I find the wait is worth it. It's a one-time hit, and then you've got an actual picture that you can work with. So now the project's handed off to Audition. And if you look here, you'll see we have the ability to see individual waveforms or the multi-track. So as we play this, there's all the clips.
Hey Joan, I'm Skip, and I'll be your doctor today. Hey Joan, I'm Skip, and I'll be your doctor today.
And you see all the clips have come across, so we can work with these. Obviously, if we've got a polished rough cut, all of that'll come through. You've got the ability there to actually see the video. If you click down here on the video tab and you drag through, you'll see that the reference video stays in sync. And everything comes through. So pretty cool workflow. So when you're all done with your sequence, you got multiple tracks, it's pretty straightforward. All you're going to do is click the multi-track menu and choose to export back to Premiere Pro. When you do that, it's going to go ahead and give you the choice, and you could choose here to go ahead and send everything back or send it back as a single mono or stereo file. So if you did something really complex, you want all the tracks in place, you want all the individual files, send it back as a stem. Or if you've gone ahead and done something really complex and you just want to sort of bake it, you can always go back to Audition. You could export that as a mono or a stereo file, and that's going to work well for you. Remember, Audition also supports mixing in surround sound. So if you have a more advanced mix and the appropriate hardware, you can go ahead and take advantage of that as well. For Creative Cow, my name's Rich Harrington. Be sure to head on over to creativecow.net, click on the podcast tab, and you'll find tons more Premiere Pro training, as well as subscribe to Creative Cow magazine, where you get great tips from industry experts. Thanks again.